What's up, guys? Little late this week. I was busy yesterday. I was tired. This is actually next week is finals week for me, so I got a lot of stuff going on right now, but got some time today. Got some time, so here it is. I want to get this out before Thursday because of the Thursday night game and everything. Alright, where do we start off? Short slate of games this week, actually. So Buffalo, San Francisco. A lot of things you can talk about here. Marshawn Lynch stepped it up, and ultimately it meant nothing. Buffalo had drives that went there was an 87 play drive and 80-yard drive. Yeah, 87-yard drive and an 80-yard drive, something like that. And those drives netted a combined 0 points. You can point to that. You can point to the general inefficiency of both the quarterbacks, Edwards and Lossman, because, Lynch had probably the best game he's ever played in his career. So it's just an issue of efficiency. They would drive down inside the 10, inside the 5, and then they'd have to kick field goals. And there's just nothing worse than that. That's something that a team like Washington suffers through a lot. Any team with offensive inefficiency, like sometimes Baltimore can do that more in the past than this year, but still just a real killer, because Buffalo outgained San Francisco 2-1. And, they shut down Gore, they shut down Sean Hill. They really, on paper, did everything right. Obviously, their kicker didn't help things. He missed a couple of easy ones, but gotta pick up the efficiency. Ravens, Bengals. I gotta give some serious props to Cam Cameron here, because this Ravens offense was kind of like the missionary position pretty much ever since they got to Baltimore. They moved from Cleveland to Baltimore. It was just very straight, very flat, very dull. And sometimes it was okay, but it was always just very dull and very straight. This year, we're getting these reverses to Troy Smith. We're getting reverses to Mark Clayton. We're getting wide receivers throwing passes. Clayton and Troy Smith have both actually made big plays on passes like that. It's just exciting now. They've really changed what they do now. They're getting, Troy Smith, again, he's involved in the offense. They let him carry the ball sometimes. They let him go in the Wildcat. They do a lot of fun stuff. So I definitely love that. It led to some very good things for them, obviously, against the Bengals, 34-3. That tells you most of what you need to know. Clayton had a huge game. Mason, the defense got after the quarterback big time, forced a turnover, dominated time of possession. And where is Willis McGahee? I know he's been hurt, but I don't think he's hurt anymore, so I don't know why he's not playing. So big game for Baltimore. They're 8-4. They got a wild card spot, and that game against Pittsburgh in a couple weeks that's going to be good, guys. That is going to be what football is all about. Nothing to really say about the Bengals. Jordan Palmer got some reps. Jordan Palmer got in there, and he threw a couple passes. He didn't complete anything, but he's kind of a guy people forgot about. But it's kind of cool to see him out there, even if he does completely suck and has no chance at making it in the NFL. It's kind of cool. Panthers, Packers. I kind of feel for Aaron Rodgers, because he has had a very nice season, and he is going to catch a lot of flack for this season, because it's not looking good right now. They're 5-7. I will say their division is very weak, and you cannot count them out yet. But he's played very well, and the Packers' record is not showcasing that. And in this game, he far and away outplayed Jake Delhomme, who continues to struggle. He had 300 yards. He was 30 of 45, 3 touchdowns, a pick. near the end. You know, you could say that he wasn't exactly clutch. He threw that interception when Green Bay absolutely needed a drive, but on the whole, his season has been very good, but it just wasn't there for him. The defense let him down, the running game was inconsistent, just everything. This was the team that blew out the Colts, so they can play very well. And it's disappointing to watch for me because I like Rodgers and I think he's had a very nice season, but he's going to catch a lot of blame for this, so it's going to be tough for him. And again, it all comes back to the other elements of the team that are not stepping it up. They're inconsistent. You know, Rodgers gave them every chance to win this game in Carolina, and then Charles Woodson gets beat by Steve Smith, which, you know, great play by Steve Smith, absolutely. You know, D'Angelo Williams ran all over him. He had like 4 touchdowns. Really, Carolina in general was able to run all over Green Bay. You know, they did a pretty good job against Jake Delhomme, but when they really needed it, he made his biggest play of the game. So it's just kind of you get the feeling that Green Bay is probably better than their record, but your record is what your record is. Let's see, Giants 23, Redskins 7. I've watched this game. You know, brutally efficient. The Redskins were obsessed with stopping the run, so the Giants were passing the ball early, trying to get the Redskins to back off, and then they did, and then they just pounded out the clock. They had a nice time of possession advantage. They won the penalty battle big time. Eli had a 300-yard game, which I know he hasn't done in a long time. You know, obviously there's no Plexico, who is not coming back for the rest of the year. And as for my thoughts on that situation, yeah, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think that it, you know, obviously has the potential to upset their playoff chances, but I do not think it changes things that much. That's just kind of what I think. But anyway, Toomer had the big play. Derek Ward had a big catch and run. They'll make it work. They can make it work with whoever they put out there. Dominic Hickson, Kevin Boss, whoever goes out there. I think Steve Smith, too. Actually, I think he just got robbed at gunpoint or something over the weekend, so he should be fine, but that's a concern. And, you know, the Giants just very, very efficient. Put up 23 points, dominated the clock, got a lot of good pressure on Jason Campbell, forced a turnover. Campbell, you know, he's been falling apart a little bit over the last several weeks. He's still playing pretty well, but it's not the same Jason Campbell that opened the season. And this game played out a little bit like the first game of the season between the Redskins and the Giants. So nothing's really changed that much. People said that the Redskins were a drastically different team from week 1. Maybe not. I didn't see anything different out there. Same, for the most part, just the same stuff. Buccaneers Saints. You know, I think I understand this Drew Brees thing now. I know why some people don't think so highly of him. He's a great player. He's a monster. He can go lights out. He can throw for 500 yards in a game. He can throw for 6 touchdowns if you catch him on the right day, but I don't know if he has a sense of the moment. I don't know if he raises his game when it matters. I don't know if he plays better when things are big. I don't know if he is, to what many of you is, clutch, basically. I finally got that after watching this game. You know, at the end, the Saints, it was tied, and then the Saints were down by 3, and the Saints had the ball, and they were trying to drive, and Brees immediately threw a pair of interceptions. And, you know, I'm not saying necessarily it's his fault, but it's like the team needed him to come up big in that situation, and he's supposed to be like the 3rd or 2nd best quarterback in the league. So he's got to step up and make those plays, and he failed in a big way. I mean, he had 2 chances, and it didn't come up with it. So I get why some people don't like Brees so much now, finally. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I get it now. Other than that, you know, very good game. You had some turnovers. The Buccaneers, not very efficient offensively, but they did enough. Not much else to say here.